For thousands of years, humans have trained animals to hunt, guard, perform tricks, and even provide emotional support. But there's one debate that just never seems to end. Are dogs easier to train? Or can cats learn just as well? Are cats really untrainable? Or do we simply misunderstand how they learn? Today, we are diving deep into animal psychology, evolution, reward systems, and real scientific experiments to finally answer one major question. Cats versus dogs, who is really easier to train? Make sure you stay till the end, because the answer is not as simple as you think. Let's start with dogs. They didn't become trainable by accident. Picture this, thousands of years ago. Early humans and wolves started hunting side by side. The wolves, who were better at listening to human signals, got more food and survived longer. Over countless generations, natural selection favored wolves that could understand commands, cooperate with humans, follow gestures, pay attention, and respond to rewards. These wolves eventually became the modern dog as species biologically, designed from the ground up to work with us. That's why a dog instinctively watches your face for direction. Training is literally in their DNA. Now let's look at cats. They took a completely different evolutionary path. They weren't our helpers. They weren't our partners. They were solo hunters who lived entirely on their own terms. Humans didn't domesticate cats to protect our homes. Cats basically domesticated themselves. They noticed we had grain stores, and grain stores attracted rodents. So they hung around to hunt. This meant they had no need for teamwork, no need for commands, no need for cooperation, and certainly no need for obedience. Cats survived by relying on their own decisions, not on human instructions. So even today, cats still act on instinct, not direction. They can absolutely be trained, but usually only when it directly benefits them. A lot of people think dogs are smarter just because they obey commands. But scientifically, that's not how intelligence works at all. Cats are extremely smart. They can learn routines, words, sounds, and how to solve complex puzzle feeders. They understand cause and effect and object permanence. They are masters of problem solving. So why don't they listen like dogs do? It's simple. Cats are not motivated by human approval. Dogs evolved to depend on us for their survival and happiness. Cats evolved to depend on themselves. This means that success in training is all about motivation, not intelligence. And this is where we find the true difference. Let's talk about what motivates them. Dogs love praise, affection, food rewards, eye contact, teamwork, and playing games. A dog will work incredibly hard just to make you happy. This is what makes them so easy to train. Cats, on the other hand, typically only work for very specific things: food, play, curiosity, comfort, and self-benefit. A cat will not do something simply because you asked it to. A cat will only do it if it wants to. This doesn't mean cats are stubborn. It means they're independent thinkers. A cat is always asking, "What's in it for me?" While a dog is asking, "What's in it for us?" Several scientific studies have put this to the test. In obedience trials, dogs consistently completed tasks faster, more accurately, and with fewer repetitions than cats. They responded to pointing, gestures, your tone of voice, specific words, and even your facial expressions. Dogs can even follow human eye movements, a skill very few animals possess. Cats also learn tasks in these studies. They learn to touch targets, ring bells for food, solve puzzles, and come when called. But their success rate depended heavily on their hunger level, the environment, their mood, their trust in the trainer, and their stress level. Cats performed well in calm, comfortable environments, but would simply refuse to participate if they were stressed or just not interested. So cats can be trained, but not always on command and not always consistently. Let's bring this into the real world. When it comes to everyday training, dogs excel at tasks like sit, stay, come, lie down, roll over, and fetch. They thrive in agility courses and are amazing at service work, emotional support, guarding, police work, rescuing, and scent detection. Dogs accept structure. They actually enjoy the process of learning with you. Cats can also learn a surprising number of things. They can be trained to use a litter box, come when called, open doors, perform tricks like high-fiving, walk on a leash, sit on command, and understand the word no. But here's the catch. Cats need very short training sessions and high-value treats, like a piece of chicken or tuna. They get bored easily and lose motivation fast. This means cats can be trained, but the human has to adapt to the cat, not the other way around. Training isn't just about fun tricks. It's also about managing behavior. Dogs are generally easier to shape because they crave your approval. With consistency, most dogs will learn what you consider good behavior. Cats don't respond to punishment or loud voices. In fact, that usually just makes things worse. They learn desired behaviors through positive reinforcement, a predictable routine. In a low-stress environment, for example, if your cat is scratching the furniture, the solution isn't to yell, but to provide better scratching posts. If they're jumping on the counters, you remove the temptation, like food. If they have the zoomies at night, you schedule more playtime during the day. Cats learn by observing consequences, not by following instructions. So, after looking at evolution, motivation, psychology, and real-world experiments, who is easier to train, cats or dogs, when it comes to obedience? Consistency and following commands, dogs win. It's not even a competition. They evolved to work with humans and genuinely love doing it. But in areas like independent problem-solving and strategic learning, cats really shine. They learn quietly, on their own terms. But for the overall question of which is easier for the average person to train, dogs are the clear winner. This isn't because they're smarter, but because their motivation is perfectly aligned with ours. They want to work with us. Cats can be trained. It can be a beautiful and rewarding process, but only if you take the time to understand how a cat thinks. In the end, it boils down to this. Dogs follow teamwork. Cats follow independence. They just have different brains, different instincts, and different motivations. And that is the real answer. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.